I have spared no critique of Joe Biden and his administration for dropping the ball the moment after the COVID relief bill was signed in February or March, I think it was, of 2021. That was the moment to strike. Not invite Republicans in and have a conversation with them and dilly-dally, then show the country that you're being bipartisan. And then just to show how bipartisan you're being, you allow Sinema and Portman to come in. This was the beginning of the end for the Build Back Better bill that he had been promoting. It ultimately got split up into two bills. One was an infrastructure bill, and then the Build Back Better got destroyed by Manchin. The rest is history. And we saw reporting over the course of that summer. Manchin meeting with no labels. Manchin calling this person like, hey, my buddies need a job after they get out of the Senate. And you cannot let the opposition. We saw it in the context, actually, of that of the tax that Manchin wanted to impose on corporations in this bill that was signed here. And with a little bit of time and delay, then all of a sudden the people who opposed it were able to rally. This is, this is the thing. These are all human beings. And in the same way, like around here, I say we're going to begin to monetize the AM Quickie, and then 4 months later we still haven't done it because I got busy with other things. It wasn't my primary agenda. But even if it was the primary agenda, it still takes time to marshal these forces. They're not sitting just waiting to pounce. It may take months, may take weeks. So he needed to move quickly. At the very least, there seems to be, and it took the Obama administration, I think, a term and a half to understand this. There seems to be an awareness, at least by Joe Biden, that that game is over. Not that any more legislation is going to pass anyways, at least, contingent upon what happens in 2022 in November. But at the very least, if the Democrats are lucky enough to retain the Senate and somehow retain the House, you may see a different strategy if they go forward with anything. I don't know that they will, but it's just talk. But with Joe Biden, you're not hearing that same, like, the Republicans are going to come around after 2022 when they take control of the Senate or something. Here he is signing that bill.
The Inflation Reduction Act does so many things that for so many years, so many of us have fought to make happen. And let's be clear. In this historic moment, Democrats sided with the American people, and every single Republican in the Congress sided with the special interest in this vote. Every single one. In fact, the big drug companies spent nearly $100 million to defeat this bill. $100 million. And remember, every single Republican in Congress voted against this bill. Every single Republican in Congress voted against lowering prescription drug prices, against lowering health care costs, against the fair tax system. Every single Republican, every single one, voted against tackling the climate crisis, against lowering our energy costs, against creating good-paying jobs. My fellow Americans, that's the choice we face. We can protect the already powerful or show the courage to build a future where everybody has an even shot. That's the America I believe in. That's what I believe in. And today, we've come a step closer to making that America real. Today, too often, we confuse noise with substance. Too often, we confuse setbacks with defeat. Too often, we hand the biggest microphones to the critics and the cynics who delight in declaring failure, while those committed to making real progress do the hard work of governing. Making progress in this country as big and complicated as ours clearly is not easy. It's never been easy. But with unwavering conviction, commitment, and patience, progress does come. Your dad was right. And when it does, like today, people's lives are made better, and the future becomes brighter, and a nation can be transformed. That's what's happening now.
I mean, I'm a little bit more, I retain some of my cynicism in terms of the transformation part. And that's all well and good. Glad he could make it through that part of the speech. But the bottom line is that at the very least, using this opportunity to make it clear that Republicans were against every part of it is important and helpful. Also, we should say that yesterday, Rashida Tlaib, in a statement to the American Prospect, says handshake deals made by others in closed rooms do not dictate how I vote, and we sure as hell don't owe Joe Manchin anything now. He and his fossil fuel donors already got far too much in the IRA. My yes vote today is not quiet acceptance of the Manchin poison pill. She was talking about her vote for the passage of the IRA in the House. This was on Friday. We will be united in defeating the separate Manchin permitting reforms, I should say, that will accelerate climate change and pollute Black, brown, and indigenous and low-income communities. And she writes, now that the IRA has passed, she continued, there's absolutely zero reason that Congress should follow through in a backdoor handshake deal that directly undermines the purpose of the IRA. Manchin went back on his word to get Build Back Better done, and we owe him nothing now. I like it. It's the way you do that.
That's great, yeah.
So we shall see. Maybe they'll pass it with Republican votes, but that would be pretty hilarious. Particularly considering once we get past November, they're going to be in, keep Biden a one-term president mode. Now, presumably they also would extend that to any Democrat running in 2022 or 2024, but we shall see.